So Paul, you also focus on a hugely important topic, and that is this tug of war between thinking about short-term risk, the possibility on the short-term basis of losing money versus keeping the long-term in the front of mind rather than the back of mind. Can you talk about that bias and that risk?
Yeah, I talk about it a lot, and I try to point out to people that fallacy that volatility is risk. It becomes defined as risk by people within the financial industry because stock markets go up and down. Stock markets reflect the psychology of the moment, the mass psychology that governs people day to day. And so financial markets do go up and down, but over time, the ups exceed the downs, and that 10% average return isn't guaranteed every year. But if it's been an average over 50 some years, it's probably got a good enough track record to assume that it's sustainable and maybe repeatable in the future. That whole idea of volatility scaring people out is a shame because it causes people to react rather than just staying put.
There's this wonderful new Wharton study that tracked 1.2 million accounts at Vanguard, retirement accounts, tracking them within some 880 different 401k plans. So they had access not to the names of the people, but to the information about what they did. And they broke that down into three parts. One part represented the people who didn't use target date funds at all. They did their own thing. The second group had some target date funds, but they also did some things on their own. And the third group was all target date funds. And this went from 2003 to 2015. And it turned out that the people who used 100% target date funds made 2.7% a year better than the people who didn't have any target date funds and were winging it. And then the ones that had some target date funds, they compounded at 1.7% better than the wingers. But what is it that those people who were winging it tended to do? They were sitting on lots of cash, lots of something that just promised they'd never lose any money. When, of course, we all know that sitting on cash or bonds is not likely to help you grow your money. But that is about the fear, particularly about young investors. It drives me nuts to know that 30% of millennials don't want to put any equities in their portfolio because they're risky, because they're volatile. And your book makes it very clear. It's not about the short term, it's about the long term, and the volatility disappears when you look at the long term.